Hello, everybody, and this is Days of 2, and I decided that today, I have played yet again. I have decided to give Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle another chance. And again, I am not a big tactic RPG kind of guy. I have never really liked the games. I mean, I played Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. That game was a little more easier than Final Fantasy Tactics. This game has its merits, I'm gonna say, and we're gonna go into those in a minute. And I'm gonna also go over my complaints about the game itself. So let's get into the review. So Mario+Rabbids is basically Ubisoft um, collabing with Nintendo to make an RPG. Is it a good RPG? Somewhat. I mean, it's not terrible, but we'll get to those in a minute. So basically, the story of the game is the plot of the game is that there's this person working on a VR device, and this VR device gets stuck on a rabbit's head, and of course the rabbits have this magical time machine that would take them to history. So they go to the Mushroom Kingdom thanks to a poster. They get stuck in the time machine. How the heck that works, I don't know. All I know, it's a pretty good premise. But there are some things that still baffle me about the game. Second of all, and so this rabbit which they call Spawny during the game, creates crazy combinations. And we'll get into the bosses here in a minute. So, throughout the game, you're trying to get Spawny back. And all the while, he's making new creations thanks to Bowser Jr., who is in charge while his dad is away on vacation. Yeah. As weird as that sounds, it's a pretty good plot. So, here are my favorite things about the game. First of all, the gameplay. Gameplay is good. I have a few complaints about it, which we'll get about in a minute. But I gotta say, this game had some good gameplay to it. Another thing that I liked was the skill tree. And then again, we're going to talk about what I don't like about the skill tree. That can be reset if you don't like how you set up your skill tree. So let's say you're going into a boss and suddenly you don't have what you need. You can reset your skill tree. But you get, and we're going to go into the details about the different rabbits that are in your party and their powers. Then, of course, we have, and then of course we have the weapons. The weapons are pretty cool. I really like the weapons. I think one of my favorite ones were the golden weapons, and there are ultimate weapons too. So let's go ahead and go into the complaints I have in this game. First of all, it is a tactical RPG. I don't like tactical RPGs very often. This, I don't know. I wanted to kind of enjoy it, and I did, but again, it's a tactical RPG. Tactical RPGs seem to be a little harder, and this game is no exception. My second complaint is how long the game is. How many? Let me ask you a question. How many worlds are in a regular Mario game? 8. Can you guess how many worlds are in this game? 4. There are only 4 worlds in this game, each with 9 levels. Why? Okay, they got secret levels in the game, but still, it still baffles me why they couldn't just, you know, give us more than 4 episodes. Now, I know, before you say this, I know there's DLC out there. But let's say someone doesn't want to pay for DLC. They're not going to get their money's worth. Then there's the skill tree. The skill tree, I want a game where you level up, okay? I understand. Skill trees work too. And this is a minor complaint. But skill trees usually don't work very well because you have to be careful what you choose. You might choose something incorrectly and then you have to start the battle all over again. So let's go into the characters and their abilities. Versus Mario. Mario has a jump ability, which if you jump on a character's head, he will jump. He can jump. Actually, all of them can jump on any character's head, and everyone can dash, which basically is an extra attack. Then but he can jump on a character's head, and then jump on an enemy's head after that. He also has 2 weapons. His hammer, his primary weapon, which is everybody has a gun in the game. They're different types, but they're good. Then he has what's called Mario Empower, which basically gives everybody an extra boost. And then he has what's called Hero Sight, where if an enemy is moving toward Mario will see it and then shoot. Then we got Rabbid Luigi, which has his powers very unique. He can use Vampire. Vampire in this game, and I'll talk about the status effects in a minute, is where anyone that hits an enemy or a character that's affected, unless it's you hitting the character, gets the HP drained by any characters. It doesn't matter if it's Rabbid Luigi. He also has a bazooka or a rocket launcher. He also has this thing where he can shield himself. And then I don't know what the other one is. I think I can't remember what the other one is, but it's unique. Then we got Rabbid Pete's, who is the healer of the group. She has her secondary weapon is a sentry she can send out. That thing comes in handy, especially when you're fighting a boss. And it sometimes will target that thing. This makes it interesting. But it also explodes on impact, which is pretty cool. She also has the healing ability. And she also has a shield. Then we got Luigi. Luigi also has a sentry. He also has something called a Steely Stare. It's kind of like the Empower in the Hero Sight. So it's basically just that. And then he has Itchy Feet. Itchy Feet allows you to go further than what you can with just a regular movement. Then we got Peach. Peach has the ability, when she jumps on somebody, to heal anyone in the vicinity after she jumps and lands. So let's say you're low on health. Now, she's not a healer in this game. That's Rabbid Peach's job. But she has a duck called a Duckus. And she can throw it out and damage enemies. She also has I think it's some kind of, I don't remember what it is, but she has two other powers. I don't remember what they are. Then we have Rabbid Mario. Rabbid Mario is just Mario's Rabbid clone. Same thing. Hammer. You can jump on enemies until you jump on someone else's head. And then we have Yoshi. And Rabbid Yoshi. And these two characters are the only two characters in the game that have a machine gun. It's pretty cool. And what's cool about them is Rabbid Yoshi can basically scare off enemies with his voice. And Yoshi, he also has his own version of Hero Sight and Empower. So let's go over the bosses, because I also have another complaint. The enemies in the game. Most of them, well, actually all of them, are repeats. They are some form or another of the enemies you encounter in each level, which are your basic minions, your smashers, your Valkyries, and one of these things are that bounce. That's all they are. There's just different forms of them. So let's get into the bosses. There are 5, and 4, and actually 5 in total. Because there's one, they don't count as a boss, but technically are kind of like one. So, there's a Rabbid DK. I don't remember what his real name is. We'll go just call him Rabbid DK because he looks like a giant version of DK. And his gimmick is bananas. If he has bananas in front of him, you hit him, he will chow down those bananas. You have to get those bananas out from in front of him by stepping on the panel. Then we have the Icicle Golem, and we'll talk about the mid bosses too. The Icicle Golem thing is kind of like there's these guys with these big shields, by the way. And the Icicle Golem is kind of a bigger version of it, where you can't hit him from the front, you have to hit him from the side or the back. By the way, all these bosses have 3 phases, except for the mid bosses. And then we have one of my favorite bosses in the entire game, Phantom. Phantom is kind of like the Phantom of the Opera. He sings, and quite well, I might add. And he throws shade on Mario. Oh my gosh. Going from his mustache to his body shape, and it's funny. And then we have probably one of the coolest bosses of all time, Mega Dragon Bowser. Mega Dragon Bowser is a giant dragon, and I'm not going to tell you exactly what happens at the end, how it becomes it, but it's pretty cool. Now let's talk about the mid bosses, because there's quite a few of them. In the first chapter, it's a Mario+Rabbid. And it's kind of like Petey Piranha. Then there's these two, I don't remember the names, but there's these two elements in the second world. It's pretty cool. And and by the way, we're going to go into status effects here in just a second. Then we got Calvera, who is basically the mid boss and how you get Rabbid Yoshi. And finally, Bowser Jr. Let's just say he has a mech, and it's pretty dang powerful. I was scared when I fought him. Of course, then we got Wario and Waluigi. Wario and Waluigi aren't really bosses, but they're kind of somewhat like them. Because they have the exact amount of HP that a boss should have. So now let's talk about the status effects. There are five or six. First of all is a vampire, which I talked about, where if a character gets hit, or an enemy gets hit by a character, well, it has that status effect. It'll suck HP every time you hit them. Honey is where your character gets stuck in one place and can't move. They can fire, but they just can't move. Let's see. Stone is the same thing as honey, but you can't move or use a weapon. Ink is basically what it is. You're basically blinded. You can move, you just can't shoot. Burn just makes your characters run around with like the pants on fire, which they are. Let's see what else is there. Notice another one. Oh, you know, this is I have Luigi, Mario's other thing. He has a magnet, a dance magnet, which basically brings the enemies closer to you. So, is the game good? It's not as bad as I claimed it to be at first. So I'm going to take back every bad thing I've said about that game at first. It's not boring, it's not bad, but it's still, in the end, give me Mario RPG. Give me the original Paper Mario series. Give me the Mario Luigi series. Anyway, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm going to give this 8.5 out of 10.